Asinine Reason, and we're live. Hello, one, hello, all. Welcome to this premiere episode of The Final Girls. I am not a girl, but I'll be hosting this event. With me, as always, in these types of events is Emily from Emily's Adventures in Horrorland. Emily, say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you have to say hi to get the thing to look at you.
Oh, right. I just forget that.
And the newest Scream Stream member, Lindsay from Mother Mayhem. Lindsay.
Hi.
You guys can talk a little bit longer to keep the camera on you. Just.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Hello.
Hi. Now we're fighting with each other.
And from Nightmare Maven, it's Vicky.
Hi, I'm Nightmare Maven or Vicky. Look at me talking longer.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, thank you all for being here. Hopefully this is the first of many, but I'd like to see if we can get a rotating at least fourth, or we were supposed to have some. Queenie Todd was supposed to join us, but things fell through. But if we can get a fourth final girl in here, that'd be like on a rotating purpose, or if whatever. Anyway, so the term final girl is from the book Men, Women, and Chainsaws by Carol Clover. I mispronounced her name in a video prior. What do you guys feel about that trope? So I'll start. I'm looking at Emily to my left, and Lindsay, then Maven. So I'm going to start. That's the order I'm going to go in. Emily, Lindsay, Maven.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Emily, your thoughts on the final girl?
I've only read the preface of this book. I'll be very honest. I guess I understand vaguely what it is. It's someone who survives the movie and everything horrible that happens to her, and it is usually a her. They tend to be the most virtuous of their group. If it's a slasher, to be, although that can be broken, I guess. That's how I understand it.
Okay. and do you think it's warranted in film? Is it necessary?
I suppose there's no harm in it. There's a bunch of pre-existing tropes for horror movies. It's not the most offensive one. At least she survives. Much worse could happen. Fair
enough. Lindsay.
Is there anything else to cover other than really what she said?
I guess not. Nice short stream. Thank you, guys.
Ditto.
All right. Well. How about I pivot? Why? I mean, my favorite Friday the 13th Part 6. I'll argue that the final girl is actually Tommy Jarvis. Tom Matthews, bro. Mm-hmm. Why hasn't that been a thing? Or why do you think that hasn't been a thing?
I think it's the unlikeliness of the person that survives. People usually associate males and their strength is what's going to get them to the end, right? But the final girl is usually like the meek, quiet, and gentle one, and the least likely to survive. And I think that's why she's a final girl.
All right, you're going after the typical stereotypes there.
Oh, well, yeah.
Good. Sure.
80s.
Sure. Maven, your thoughts on either end?
Okay. Well, I completely agree with what Emily and Lindsay just said, and I do agree with Lindsay on that. I think it's a social cultural thing that like the meek girl or woman is the final girl because you root for her, because you feel for her, you want to protect her, and you want her to win, because that's kind of like a female sort of stereotype. You don't typically feel that about men because, as Lindsay said, you associate them with strength and power, and you kind of just assume that they're going to be able to handle themselves. I think it's kind of an outdated term now, final girl, but back in the 80s with Reagan era politics and things like that, it fit for what was going on.
Oh, it totally fits now. It's the name of our stream. It's totally relevant right now.
I mean, totally relevant.
Good catch, thank you. So with that said, what do you think? What do you think a sexist view of women in horror is in today's day and age? We'll go backwards. I'm
Are
sorry.
you starting with
Ma-
Emily again?
We'll go backwards now. Now we'll start with you, Maven. I'm sorry.
Okay. A sexist female character now.
Or a stereotypical. I mean, it doesn't have to be sexist.
Probably one that I think is still relevant now is like the whore or the harlot character is one that I think has not really gotten a makeover as the final girl kind of has nowadays. There's still that stigma around, the female that's more open about her sexuality and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen what was it? It Follows, where you presume all the characters have had sex, but
that's what it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with Vicky.
This is going to be a short stream, guys.
I know. Well, you picked some people with some very like-minded views.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, yeah, like if you like the 80s, again, going back to the 80s, rules for surviving a horror movie and don't have sex. And so like the promiscuous girl, or even like a girl who has sex once, then like she's not supposed to make it to the end, sort of thing. But I don't think when it applies to men, like Tommy Jarvis, do you think that he's a virgin? Probably not. I'm pretty sure he got it in a lot. Tom Matthews is a good-looking fellow.
He had a face full of crotch in part 6 too.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like he wasn't a virgin, and he's still like the final guy sort of role, right? So, but when it's a girl, if she has sex, then she's done. And I think that that's something that's incredibly sexist. And I would be so
hideous double standard.
Yeah.
Emily, so I don't know what your answer to this is, but I'd like you to segue into what we were talking about before about Hereditary and the like.
Okay.
Are you a deer in headlights right now?
Is what, sorry?
Are you a deer in headlights right now?
I mean, no, go ahead. I'll do my best.
Well, what do you think is a common or a trope that fits today for females?
Well, I've noticed in a lot of recent elevated horror movies, if you could even argue that's a genre in and of itself, there seems to be an emphasis on motherhood and the struggles therein, and having a weird child and not knowing if you want to be a mother in the first place, which I thought was interesting because you don't see very many movies about the fear of having a child, the opposite way. It's always this adult fear of something happening to your child, and I've just found it interesting in a country where abortion is such a touchy subject. I thought you were going to work this in a lot later, to be honest.
All right, well, we can go back to it. It's just it was a nice segue because I was when Maven brought up today that it's more of a dated trope. It made me think, well, the one thing between Hereditary and the Babadook, it seems to be this thing that's growing. The pains, the guilt, the drama of being a mother, and presented in this horror type element. Lindsay, thoughts? Mother? The Pro?
Oh God, where this thing's CAS is hiding out in my bushes right now. It's hard for me to have a strong opinion about that, especially with the examples that Emily brought up. Because one, I haven't seen Hereditary. I still haven't seen it yet.
Ooh, okay.
And the Scream stream that we did, you already heard how I felt about the Babadook. So I don't think that was a great portrayal of the role at all. Go to Vicky.
Okay. Vicky.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like that's always been an interesting character, at least to me. Like, it's fascinating to hear from the point of view of like Lindsay, from somebody who is a mom, because I can only empathize or sympathize with a character like that so far, because I'm not a mom and I'm still at that age where I'm like, nah, don't want that right now.
I'm all set.
Mhm.
So I can only understand to a certain level, but I feel like that's a very common character for females is motherhood, because that's sometimes I think they take it a little bit too far and it kind of turns into a stereotype, like women are only afraid of things that have to do with motherhood because it has to do with like the house and home and things like that. But I liked what Emily brought up about movies that are more concerned with fear of like pregnancy or stuff during pregnancy. I find those to be a little more interesting, and I agree it's not something that you see very often. Very few movies like that, but I can relate to them more.
There was Alien, but oddly it was the one of the dudes who got impregnated.
Right.
So that's more to do with the male fear of pregnancy.
Yeah, I would envision Alien as a, this is what pregnancy would be for men. And then there's a lot of, I mean, any sort of sexual anything is covered in that movie. Whether it be rape and just unwanted anything sexual. That's what that movie is.
The face hugger itself is very phallic. So.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it looked kind of vaginal.
Well, vaginal with a Mr. Hadley coming out of it.
I guess both. Yeah.
Double whammy.
Yeah, just a. Oh, Lee's telling me I'm looking stunning tonight, and I wonder why that is. What are the odds?
Where's the jean short?
Yeah, I can't. What's up, boys? So they're having a hard time hearing you, Maven.
Okay, yeah, you were talking. I was gonna say I didn't realize my mic was not switched to the mic that's right in front of me. So I was like leaning closer and it wasn't working. Is that better, you guys?
Yeah. We'll have to.
It's fine.
There's a slight delay, but I'm sure we'll find out one way or another.
Just let me know, you guys.
so a nice little break while we get to this. I've brought it up with anytime I've interviewed a female, anytime I've been on a stream with a female, I'm incredibly what's the polite word? I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated with the differences between being a female YouTuber and a male YouTuber, and a lot of people say it's the same thing, and I just don't buy it. I get trolls. I don't get people, outright sending me DMs and asking me to whatever. Granted, I look like a donkey, but but that could have something to do with it. But
oh, my donkey.
That's right. Don't you forget it. So I'm assuming you guys have dealt with strangeness from members of the opposite sex, and again, so to kind of relate to it in a tiny matter, when I have been hit on, it has been by gay men. So there appears to be this male female difference with forwardness. Am I wrong in assuming that men are a little bit more forward in the comment section as female YouTubers? Emily, first.
Based on my limited experience, yeah, they've been exclusively men, unfortunately.
That have been a little forward and strange.
Yeah, that have sent messages along those lines. To their credit, they have usually backed off very quickly when I told them no thanks. But I'm a smaller YouTuber, so I don't know if that has something to do with it, or maybe I just look like a potato. I don't know.
Oh, donkey and a potato. The farmer couple. Lindsay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Now I'm reading stuff in the chat and I'm getting distracted. I'm very much like a golden retriever, like you, CP.
Oh yeah, squirrel.
No, there's definitely a higher percentage of weird guy comments, but like even Emily said, like we're not like the larger YouTubers, right? I'm sure that. When you get to the point of like Jenna Marbles or like any of the like, then I'm sure the amount of comments or DMs and that sort of thing can be just astronomical. But for me, like the ones that come in, I don't know, like you might get a couple a week, depending on how much you're uploading, I guess. And it's pretty simple at this point. Like I have like filters set relatively high to like flag certain terms.
Right.
And so they automatically just go to my like waiting for approval folder.
Did you spend an age just thinking up words that might trigger like sexy, body parts, body part?
It was mostly like I kind of like grouped together a whole bunch of inappropriate comments and then like took like commonly used phrases and terms from those ones.
Nice.
Clever.
But there was a whole schematic involved.
Yeah. So the difference between you and the rest of us, Lindsay, is you have different outlets on YouTube, and you have a makeup tutorial stem.
Yeah.
Are the comments at all comparable there?
No.
So it's just in the horror videos, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Any of like the beauty ones that I have uploaded onto like my horror channel, there's next to like no guy comments on there at all, except for maybe like a handful, like the like diehards that like they just watch every single one of my videos and they're amazing and I love you guys that do that.
That's nice.
But like say like my other channel, my Listen to Lindsay channel that I haven't even touched in forever. Like no inappropriate comments on there ever.
It's strange to me because you would think in a beauty atmosphere that, you know, not that it's welcome, but you know, you look great would kind of fit there. Like, am I making sense? Like you're working on your appearance, so a comment on your appearance, I mean, there more than anywhere would kind of be expected.
Yeah.
Help me.
No. and that's like, say, like my Harley Quinn, like body paint one that I did. There was quite a few comments on that one, but they were both like male and female alike, were very, very similar. So it wasn't anything like creepy or weird, or like any of like the Harley Quinn fanboys weren't coming for me or anything like that.
Maven.
Okay, well, I can't speak to the makeup one because
sorry.
You're okay, because I mean, no.
Your brows look great though.
Oh, thank you. That's such a compliment coming from Lindsay. I've made it. I probably don't get them as often as maybe I feel like Lindsay probably does, because she's got the bigger fan base for sure. Yeah. She's got the 13,000 subs. But no, I completely agree. I think, I hate to stereotype, but I feel like it is the male comments that are the like easily the most forward. Like, and I don't know, I guess it's a stereotype too that women tend to be more like in the background, like maneuvering things in the back and getting back at people that way. I'm totally stereotyping, but
it's fine. It's fine.
That's what the environment sometimes is in the comments, and it's the guys that are the most forward. But I think it's mostly because they are on the other side of a screen and not face to face. I doubt very much that like 99% of the guys that have commented nasty shit on my channel would ever say that to my face.
Right. Do you guys think that the fact that it's a genre that's primarily, again, stereotyping,
it's a male audience? I knew you were going to bring this up.
Well, we live together.
Yeah, but I mean,
well, go on. Finish the question and go ahead and
you were
answer.
going to say that the three of us are magical unicorns in one of them. Horror review.
I don't know if I was going to say magical unicorns, but go ahead.
You've used the word unicorn before. I know.
Have
you
I?
have.
That
Yes.
wasn't bad. That was something totally different. Yeah, so yeah, you know what I'm going to ask. So go on.
Sure. I guess it's mostly dudes who are watching horror, and not so much us gals who are going on the internet and talking about it. So.
Right. So I guess to piggyback the rest of that, do you think that maybe it's, I mean, to some degree, we all have some sort of social quirk that we're doing this, from the privacy of our home, and that it's not like we're going out, and to a small degree to do something like this is somewhat socially, reserved. So do you think that maybe these people that wouldn't normally go out and venture into the world to meet people, the fact that here you are, you could search girl horror review and presto, the list comes up. Do you think that maybe they have some sort of, I don't know, help me, Emily, good.
It's an easy way to reach out and try and get to know someone, I guess, if you're already on the platform.
Like-minded, right, yeah. Lindsay, Emily's basically asked and answered.
I'm still not entirely sure what you were saying.
Yeah, so do you think that there's this, see, I'm trying not to throw any of your regulars or great commenters under the bus, but do you think that people maybe have a bit of, they feel that they have free reign because you're in a genre, you're doing videos in a genre that are so few and far between as far as females covering the subject is concerned?
Well, I mean, I even started my channel with the name Horror in my tag name, so that it was that whole like power struggle thing. Like if I put it there, then somebody else can't really say it to me as like a derogatory kind of comment. Like I knew that was going to happen. I knew that putting myself into a male and female like audience, like demographic, was that I was going to get a lot of the awkward things from guys, and probably from some girls too. I definitely have gotten some of those too, but yeah, no, I'm like doing like circles in my head now. Yeah, I'm doing
you were the one asking. I was trying to be so delicate.
Jeez. Now I've lost all train of thought.
Yeah,
you're a bastard.
I'll have to. Well, you're the one who with the most to lose, so maybe. I'm trying to
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you have to say it.
No, 13,000 subscribers. That like I don't want to like. I don't know. Perhaps it's just an envy thing. I'll say that. Maybe it's a jealousy thing where. I don't know. Like it's just different.
Well, are you insinuating to think that I'm at 13,000 subscribers because I'm a female?
Oh no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that
okay.
at all. No. What I meant was, I was insinuating. I did a poor job of asking the question. It's just that I think that there have been a few names that have been notorious. I really wish other people were here. That there are people in the community that have been a little forward. Again, I feel like they have free reign to. I don't know. Just there's a barrier with the computer, and I think it's like Maven said. If they were face to face, half of the things that are said in comment sections wouldn't be said in person. Maybe more than that.
I mean, a comment you can delete, and some people have, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, even last year when we had gone to a horror convention in Novi, Michigan, and there was like 3 or 4 subscribers that came up and said like, "Hey, you're Mother Mayhem," and we chatted for a couple minutes or whatever. But there was probably like at least like 6 more that messaged me later, like saying like, "Hey, I saw you at Motor City Nightmares and all of this," but they wouldn't come up to me. And like these are names that I regularly saw comment on videos. So they were comfortable enough behind the computer talking to me, but not coming up to me and talking to me in person.
Why do you think that is?
Because I feel like people underestimate how big I am on the computer. And I'm like Amazon status. So
Oh,
I think
tall.
they're scared of me when they see me.
Well then.
That's what
so-
I think.
Well, Maven.
That or I look a lot better on computers than I do in person. They're like, ooh, that's what she really looks like, and they stay really far away.
The computer removes 10 pounds.
I wish.
Maven, your thoughts on this slapdash ridiculous, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, completely agree that there, with the barrier of the computer, not all that surprised from Lindsay's story that maybe some people didn't want to come up to her, because you kind of touched on it at the beginning of your question.
Spiel.
I think it was spiel.
Question.
Yeah.
We'll call it a question.
For it. There's kind of like almost a little bit of like a reserved or maybe antisocial sort of thing about YouTube. And I think that goes both ways as well. For some of us, maybe like using YouTube, it's like,
sure,
it's like safety behind the camera to socialize. But then when you get out in the real world, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I went to my first convention. Not that nobody recognized me. That was a subscriber. I saw like other horror tubers, but I was like instant social awkward. Like I was just like, okay, I don't know how to human. So that's not at all surprising. And like Emily said too, you can delete comments and you can edit comments and you have time to think about your comments, which I think also gives people that maybe would write particularly nasty things more courage to do so, because they have time to sit there and really think about what they want to say, and they don't have to come up with it like that as if they were in person.
I suppose it depends whether you think of your YouTube platform as your workspace. It would be very inappropriate if someone came to you on LinkedIn and said, "You look really attractive," just saying.
Yes.
But I mean, YouTube is where we work, so I guess it's kind of inappropriate. I don't know. Like I said, limited experience.
Well, no, completely. Like if you worked a retail job and a like customer came in and talked to you about that, like that's harassment. But on YouTube, apparently it's okay for somebody to say it, like come in and make a comment about your chest or your mouth or any of the wonderful things that these guys come up with.
So thank you. With that said, now that you said it first, how do you guys feel like when you put 20 minutes into a video, 30 minutes, whatever, how much, Emily, hours, days.
Yeah.
And the first comment has nothing to do with the product that you've worked on and written and edited. How is it received? Emily?
I mean, I put time into my face too, just not as much. It's
sure. You don't script your makeup process, so
no, not really.
Yeah. That's a nice dodge. Do you not want to answer?
It's a little discouraging, maybe, I guess, yeah.
Is it?
Sure.
So on a rate, out of 100%, how much does it, oh, you look great. How much does that matter in the grand scheme of things?
Evidently not much. You came up to me one day and said, "Hey, nice editing," and I married you. So
yeah, that was a step.
Yeah.
there's the trick, guys. Say nice editing, and you'll get them. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite, by the way. Like all these questions. Although you know what, in my defense, I don't think I mentioned your looks like for months.
Yeah, no, you were. I don't want to say gentlemanly, but you respectfully kept it to what I had actually worked on and scripted and filmed and etc. So.
All right.
Can I note something from the chat?
Oh, okay.
Maurice, the Beast vlogs, was referring to something that I had said, saying compliments equal harassment, ? Compliments that are unwanted or unwarranted, or specifically, yes, like as Darling Darkness says, like about somebody's physical appearance or attributes, yes, that is definitely sexual harassment. And if you think that is just a compliment, then...
I tend to give a bit more leeway. I maybe too much of a people pleaser myself, but I mean, a compliment on its own isn't too offensive to me. If it's I don't know. It depends.
if someone says like, "Oh, you look so pretty here," or something like that, that's a wonderful compliment, and it's definitely not harassment. But when you're saying that you want to, like,
crawl into your...
oh,
I've
yeah,
heard comments
crawl
saying
face
something
first
along
into
the...
my snatch. Yeah, that was a good one.
Jesus.
I don't know. That's not even like possible. That's not even physics.
Yeah, my only
That's like
response
what I
to
was
that
about
was
to say.
just, that sounds painful.
For everybody involved.
No, thank you.
So Lindsay, how about you? If somebody just, gives a, you look nice, or, hey, nice compliment here, that has nothing to do with the actual video. Well, like what does that mean to you? Does it have any sort of value system?
It depends. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me because I make a living in the beauty industry. So
right, but we kind of touched on it, though. It's a little different.
Yeah. If somebody says something like that, like, it's really, really nice, but at the same time, if it's like the first thing that somebody has to say about one of my videos that I did put a lot of time in, I'm like, that's what you got? Really? For example, way back when, before I even started this channel, I did a guest spot review for Mike and Jay over on We Watched a Movie with my friend Danielle, and a lot of the comments were talking about, like, oh, the girl, because this is like when I had red curly hair, the girl with the red curly hair is hot and all this kind of stuff. Or there was one guy that said too much banter going on between them, just get to the review and all of this. But this is on We Watched a Movie's channel.
Oh,
the kings of banter.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like girls couldn't perform that way. They had to perform the way that you wanted, sort of thing. And that one, I was like, I was like fingers ready. I wanted to leave like a nasty comment to that guy, but I didn't. And that's a double standard right there. But it can be hurtful when somebody automatically recognizes your appearance before your hard work.
Right. Maven.
Completely agree. Usually when I see a comment like that, and that's, I agree with Lee commented, I guess it depends on where one's line is, which I also think is true. And I think it kind of goes to Lindsay's statement as well. Like if that's the only thing they put, or the first thing that they put, like if I spent like an hour editing a video and the only thing I see is like, wow, I really love your lipstick, it's so pretty, or something like that. And that's it. It's just like instant eye roll. Like, okay, but I was also talking about whatever horror movie and it had nothing to do with my lipstick. Thank you, I guess. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's just
I do like your lipstick.
Thank you.
Good job, Emily.
I think my line has been.
But the difference with that is I was talking about my lipstick.
Yeah.
It's not like, if the chat were going on and on right now about like how good Lindsay's makeup looked or something like that, I would even be getting annoyed for her. Like, we're talking about horror movies. We're talking about women in horror. We're not talking about how killer Lindsay's makeup looks or how killer Emily's eyeshadow is right now.
I'd love to go on
the first thing I said to Emily.
The Red Letter Media and just go, oh, this guy's beard is just magnificent.
Yeah. Like,
grew
I
it
don't
very well.
see that. I don't see that very much. It's I mean, please, if you see it, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's like we talked about it last or 2 weeks ago, whenever Scream Team was, Lindsay. Men get trolls that just, whatever, your opinion shit, you're an asshole. And it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like women get either, physical stuff or just good or bad, just, completely disregarding what you're talking about in the video, but one way or another, just talking about just stuff that is completely inconsequential to the content.
Yeah.
It's just annoying because it's like they didn't watch your video.
Right,
like,
right, exactly.
Like, why are you here then?
So I'm gonna do work for Emily because it's something that I recently covered, and she's gonna have coming up shortly. I know, Lindsay, you're not a big fan, but we recently saw Martyrs. So that passes the Bechdel test, which I was doing a little bit of homework on French extremist films, and they all see, like, for as much as the horror genre is very demeaning, exploitative of women, the French movement, while I don't know if it's interpreted that it's doing the same thing, they at least have strong female characters that don't necessarily are damsels. I mean, Martyrs is all right. So in the typical landscape of horror and female tropes, what do you guys think of the two, you know, the two lead females in Martyrs?
I don't know if there's a final girl amongst them. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen the
well, even the villain
movie, which
is a female too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's female torturers all over the place, I guess.
Right.
So, you know, equal opportunities. Yeah, it's interesting that the whole point of martyrdom is transcending pain, which seems to go against what we expect from, I guess, final girls or female horror antagonists. As the audience, we're supposed to sympathize with them, want to protect them, feel sorry for them, and as with any horror protagonist, they're meant to suffer, because otherwise, why are we scared of the Jeepers Creepers dude or Jason or May or whoever? I don't know.
Ooh, May.
Where was I going with this?
Sorry, it was a female.
Golden retriever.
Squirrel. Sorry, Emily. Is it in spite of itself, do you think?
I mean, they mention in the movie that young females make or have the highest incidence of being martyrs, which is interesting. I'm wondering if that's not a nod to this whole genre as a whole. That they seem to make the best, not victims exactly, but, you know, they have a lot to put up with.
Lindsay.
This is all too smart for me.
Oh, really? Well, you didn't like Martyrs, right? You weren't.
And it wasn't that I didn't like it. I think that it's an incredibly beautiful film.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't hook me or give me the strong feelings that other people got from it. So I'm not that connected to it.
Okay.
Dead inside.
It's fine. We all are in some degree. Well, Maven, what are your thoughts?
I really loved what Emily said about pointing out the bit where they're talking about how females like have a higher, you know, tendency to transcend or whatever. And I completely agree. I think it does kind of feed into maybe something about women go through more suffering just in general. So it takes that much more to break them like they do in Martyrs, which is as vaguely as I can say that for anyone who has not seen the movie. It takes that much more to break their spirit, and therefore, I guess, in the bad guys' mind, makes them higher to transcendence. And I think, again, it goes back to like the strong male stereotype as well, too. Like it... I feel like for men, everything is more physical and outward, whereas women is more inward and emotional. And I think that's what that movie speaks to a lot when it comes to like pain and suffering.
Yeah. So would you consider the final girl? I know she's not a typical slasher trope final girl, but would you consider her heroic in what she does? Because she does do a lot of you know, saving or attempts to do saving, and is quite strong in spite of what she has to experience.
That's hard. Yeah, I don't know if like heroic is the word I would use. Maybe just like courageous and brave, like, because she does. it's hard to say anything, but like she does kind of like give up a little bit kind of towards the end, I guess. I'm really trying not to spoil it because I feel like it's a movie that shouldn't be spoiled for people, but
Yeah, especially the very end, right?
Yeah, like yeah, that's a difficult thing to try and answer because she really like French extreme films just go so far beyond like anything that we would consider like for like a typical final girl at all. If anything, she's just more, I guess, a normal female character than anything, as
She's
opposed
a pretty
to like
strong moral center, as opposed to her friend who wants vengeance.
agreed.
I think
Yes.
like the basic definition of martyr is like wanting to save those around you at your own sacrifice. And that is not in tune with the typical final girl role. Because the typical final girl, she just wants to survive, and she's doing everything that she can to survive. Where in a martyr's case is she'll sacrifice herself if she needs to save the ones that she cares about.
Wow. Good point, Lindsay.
The first thing I thought of was what's her face from Jeepers Creepers, the first movie.
Ugh.
She's like, take me instead of my brother.
The
And the
sister,
Creeper goes, nope. She's not really a final girl. I guess that reason that you said.
So what do you guys consider to be the strongest decade for women in horror, and why? Emily.
Like I said, there's a rising archetype right now of the strong or protective mother character. There were a few final girls back in the 80s who held their own. I guess, stating the obvious, Nancy from the Nightmare on Elm Street series was resourceful. She set up Home Alone style traps around the house. She helped other people who were also experiencing Freddy nightmares. So
the 80s? You went back and forth. Is it the 2010s or the 80s?
I don't know. Maybe in the 90s when
now it's the 90s. Make up your mind.
I'm saying for the reason that then slashers were becoming more introspective and ironic, and horror protagonists, I don't know, they were trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? That's annoying.
So I'll help
subvert the whole trope of being trapped in a horror movie. I really can't communicate what I'm trying to say.
So with what you just said, wouldn't you say that the 2010s, especially with a movie like You're Next, have you seen You're Next, Emily?
I haven't, no. Been meaning to. Someone like from Scream. Like she knows the tropes of horror movies already. She's like, usually this is the point where someone comes back from the dead. Oh, he did, bang. And she's not virginal, and there are other ways she doesn't fit the trope exactly, but she seems pretty empowered. I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
All right, so Emily has said anything from the 80s on. You covered the 80s, 90s, and today. Lindsay.
I kind of have like a double answer too.
Of course you do.
Well, obviously. I would say some of my favorites are from like the 90s era, like talking about like Sidney Prescott and is it Andrews, or I know you did last summer.
Oh,
Julie.
I forgot her name too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, who's I can't remember.
But they were the regular girl, and they weren't like weak regular girls. Where like some characters, not all, but some of them from the 80s, like say Alice. Alice was kind of like a weakling. Like she was definitely not
Friday the 13th. Alice.
Yeah. Alice, yeah. But the ones in the 90s, like that was your every girl. That was the girl next door. And they showed her as being kind of strong. However, my second part of this is that they've been kind of making, in the last like 10 years or so, the final girls, like they've been giving them almost like an unobtainable kind of strength. Like I heard somebody brought up You're Next, and like she has a background in like booby traps and stuff. And I'm like, all right, so I can't do this. What you're doing, I can't put myself in your shoes. I trip walking up the stairs. So
Oh, so you wouldn't even make the first act, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't. No, I am not a final girl. But I mean, like they've been giving them like kind of like the extra strength that makes them not your girl next door.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the new kind of final girls because they're the Sarah Connors of like the 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I still prefer the 90s girls because those are girls that like I felt like I could have seen like my friends in them.
Mm-hmm. Maven.
Interesting. I mean, Scream is my favorite movie, so I'm inclined to say the 90s, but I'll go ahead and say the 2010s. I think, kind of for like the same reason that Lindsay was talking about, but the opposite. Like with Erin from Your Next, like how she does have that background, because I just find her character interesting, because if it was a male character with that background, you wouldn't think twice about it. It would just be like, oh, okay, he's Rambo, basically. But when a female is, and I like that it really hasn't been replicated to that extent too much. Maybe kind of like lightly people are imitating that character. But I also like some of the characters that we're seeing now in like the recent rape revenge films, Revenge and MFA, and even stuff like Happy Death Day, where you have a final girl. I'll take Tree from Happy Death Day, for example, who is like the blonde, bitchy sorority girl who is probably sexually active. They don't say, but and normally in a slasher movie, she'd be offed within like the first, 20 minutes or so. She's not going to make it, but she gets the chance to get this arc and be a well-rounded person. She's not just her stereotype.
Isn't that part of the gimmick though with her? The fact that she does get offed like many times. Like it's kind of a gimmick of sorts. Like,
that's
they're
true.
playing both sides, no?
But yeah, they are kind of playing both sides for sure. But she still gets that opportunity to change and be a better person. Whereas in any other movie, she's not going to get that chance. She'll just be offed, and then that's it.
Do you guys think, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, well, in America at least, there's been a surge of recognition of women? Do you think that has transferred to film, especially horror, with the recent social movement, the Me Too's and the like? Help! I hate being the guy asking questions. I fucking hate being the guy asking these questions.
I was wondering if that's what you were getting at. I was like, you can say Me Too.
I don't want to get sued. I'm just asking questions. Emily.
Are you asking if horror movies are giving us more stronger, less problematic to identify with female characters, or are they tuning in more to female fears?
Are you All right. So I didn't ask that, but I want to go with the second half of what you said. Are they playing more into female fears recently?
Like I said, the few examples I came up with, Hereditary, Quiet Place, The Babadook, they all seem to be about parenthood, or I guess in the case of the girl from A Quiet Place, her relationship with her parents. I don't know. I personally can't identify with that because I ain't a mother. But
all right, Lindsay, can you relate to A Quiet Place? Maybe not. So you haven't seen Hereditary?
I haven't seen A Quiet Place either.
Oh, of course you haven't.
It's quite good.
So,
however, I was just saying to John last night, like that one, Hereditary, and there was another one. Fuck my face. There was another one that I said that I wanted to watch. Oh, sorry, Split. I still haven't watched Split, but John watched it without me, and so we're getting divorced.
That caused hysteria.
I haven't seen The Witch or Mother either. I don't know what those are about.
Mother, I watched some of it, but as soon as I kind of figured out what was going on, I was like, and religion, I'm out.
It lays it on real thick in that movie.
But as far as it goes for like motherhood in horror and it being like, I don't know, like people like targeting it because these are things that women are supposed to be scared of, sort of idea. I haven't seen a lot that I feel like they're targeting per se, but there are certain movies that even I've already seen before, but now rewatching them as a mother affect me in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But like the ones that affect me in a different way, like it's not necessarily new. Like Inside, two totally different experiences. Watching it before having Tommy, and then watching it when Tommy was in my belly.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like 8.5 months pregnant. That's a different experience.
You did a review on Inside, didn't you, while you were pregnant?
Wow. That's brave.
That's brave.
And I watched it when I was home alone too. I made sure that I was
Oh
home
my
alone.
gosh.
But I don't know, like I'm not sure if maybe I just haven't been watching a lot of horror as of late, because I really haven't, but I haven't noticed that they've been doing that as a mother. Because like the last one that really affected me was, we talked about on the last Scream stream, was The Other Side of the Door. And I don't care if you're a mother or a father or an aunt, or you have no family connections whatsoever. If that doesn't hit you in the feels, then there's something wrong with you. Feels.
Maven.
Yeah, again, I can't speak to being a mother, but I do like that you brought up the Me Too movement, because I agree that I think it's starting to crop up in horror films little by little. I think a lot of these things do happen in retrospect, so probably in the next like couple of years we'll see more of them. But again, bringing up the rape revenge movies that recently came out, I think those are like the first signs of kind of like the Me Too movement coming in to film, especially MFA. If anyone, I think that one kind of flew under everyone's radar. I highly recommend it. It tackles that like Me Too movement a little bit more closely. Like it takes place on a college campus and deals with that. And there's a whole lot of like females telling the main character to not say anything because she'll, of like victim blaming and things like that. So I think we're starting to get there where that will start to crop up.
Any of that. So I really need to watch more horror.
So I'll widen it up a bit from just females, but just the modern day social commentary, whether it be something like Get Out or the first Purge is quite heavy handed with the politics and social commentary. Maybe it's just me. Do you guys notice a bit of an uptick in the social subtext? Whether not just exclusively women, just in general.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's even like non-horror movies that are coming out, since you mentioned Get Out and the first Purge, like with that particular social commentary.
Yeah,
there's a lot of movies
that
coming out that are coming out. Like I saw the Spike Lee one that's coming
the Black
out. Yes, that's what it's called. Yeah. And then there's the other one, Sorry to Bother You.
That comes out
is
now.
coming out. Yeah, I think just in general, that one's going to be an interesting one to see, because I feel like it's just going to keep happening more and more, and it's even going beyond the horror genre into just film in general.
Dino, thank you. I don't know how to split this between them, but there's a donation from Dino, and he asks Lindsay, is that a dentist chair behind you?
Oh,
it's my lashing / pedicure chair. So it's a chair, but it lays flat into a bed as well. I guess it could look a lot like a dentist chair, but the sides of it are completely full, so it looks like a recliner.
Yeah, that looks way comfy for a dentist chair.
Yeah, no, I would hope so for what I freaking paid for that damn thing.
Lindsay, what about you? Social?
I should probably just like lead the conversation, because I haven't seen like any of these.
Well, just hearing about stuff am I wrong in thinking that there's a little bit of an uptick?
An agenda?
I didn't say agenda. I will
a
little more. There you go. Good. Let me push it
There's
off.
the
on me.
phrase elevated horror being thrown around as a new
Really?
subgenre, which is the Get Out, Hereditary, that crowd. And there's been a reluctance with some of these films to even call them horrors, which I find interesting.
Mhm.
The director didn't think of it as a horror while they were making it, but somehow it turned into...
Which film are you referring to that they didn't think was a horror or didn't refer to? It?
I think Hereditary, at one point in an interview, the director admits that he was careful not to think of it as horror explicitly. And then people have just kind of latched onto that.
Where's
I feel
Blind?
like that gets thrown around for any movie that's like highbrow or something too. Like you don't want to call it horror because you potentially will sully the movie by calling it a horror movie too sometimes because come on, Hereditary is terrifying.
yeah. I mean, even if you don't want to count like the stuff on the wall, like where it's like, oh look, there's somebody in this shot. There's like jump scares that aren't jump scares, but like the dinner scene in Hereditary, that's horrific for a different reason. Like I used to always say before this movie came out that Pet Sematary is a horror movie for people who hate death, who don't want to die or are afraid of death. But Hereditary,
I hate death.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But Hereditary takes like the guilt and the misery and just everything that's horrible about experiencing the death of a close one, and just like ramps it up. Like I don't know if it's not horror. I don't know what the fuck you would call that, but it's misery. The category.
Elevated horror, I guess. This
Elevated
is the first time
horror.
I've heard that term.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just like higher brow horror? Like what's the
A24?
At least like at least to your understanding, Emily, like what's the definition? Because I'm just curious.
I think it's something that has some kind of social commentary or like you said, is very high concept.
Oh, okay.
That kind of thing.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's the first time I've heard
That's how it came out. CP, I think you were pretty dead set on calling it a social horror or something to that effect. That it wasn't a horror. No, are you awake?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just doing some house cleaning.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to give you guys wrenches. I forgot about that.
So yeah, I guess they're films that have drama elements or
okay.
I don't know.
I gotcha. I was curious. That's interesting. I've never heard that term until today.
Yeah. And I live with her and hear it, so it shows something. So, on the flip side, what do you think the best way to have a woman be a villain in a horror would be? Embo.
Well, one of my favorite movies where the woman is the villain, I suppose, is May. Just happened to come across it in CEX or Kex or Sex or however it's pronounced.
Not a store in America. That's a video store.
She's a person with her own life and, feelings and ambitions and shit. And then I feel like the plot borrows a lot from Frankenstein in a sense, because she's disillusioned with the people in her life and wants to make a new friend out of the different parts she finds favorable of her existing friends. So, I don't know, she seems like just a regular person who snapped and then decided to put on a bunch of Halloween makeup and look badass and fucking kill people. I don't know. That's the kind of arc I think is good.
Do you think there's a way to make a woman a villain in a horror today that would work?
Make her a real person, I guess.
Yeah.
Really?
Don't give her an emotional agenda.
Thank you. Yes.
Let it be crazy, just evil for the sake of being evil, like Michael Myers, or I guess, I don't know, Jason is kind of emotional because he saw his mother.
All right, let's take it easy with Jason. He's had a rough go.
I know. But the whole women as villains trope is usually they're driven by emotional experiences, like urban legends, to seeking vengeance for an emotional reason. Like, why are we just not allowed to be a little crazy?
Just a little.
Yes, I am.
Lindsay just wants to be represented. You guys.
Right? I just want to see myself up there.
Maven.
That what Lindsay said was 100% what I was gonna say. Just something not driven by like emotion or jealousy. I feel like jealousy is one that's a lot too. Like something happens and it feels like it could be something petty, and it turns a woman into a villain. And yeah, just why can't they just be crazy?
Oh, Volstix, thank you. He says, do any of you think we need a stronger presence of revolutionary politics in the horror genre?
Politics.
Lindsay says no. She's dead inside.
Oh my god, I'm so tired of political agendas.
And you're in Canada.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I'm like, I'm Canadian. Like, I'm so sick of, and I'm a border city. So in a lot of ways, a lot of the shit affects me. But I'm just so tired of it. Because no matter what we do, there's nothing that we can do to stop it. It's literally like watching a car accident, and we are right here. We're watching this happen every single day. So
you're not in the car.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get hit on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't think we have airbags in this car either.
Yeah, no, I'm just so tired of political agendas. Like I miss a lot of the simpler horror movies because there wasn't like racial subtext or political subtext or like I just keep it simple. Horror used to be so much better when it was simple, and I'm sorry, but yeah, maybe that's also why I haven't watched a lot of newer stuff because I'm just
stay away from the first Purge because
holy
heavy.
I haven't watched any of them really. I watched the first one and I actually enjoyed the first one, but I also love Ethan Hawke. I really do.
Well,
can't do any wrong.
I liked him in Sinister.
See, I didn't like Sinister.
No.
Take me out back and shoot me, seriously.
I didn't like the movie Sinister, but I thought his character was okay.
Yeah, no, the Purge movies I haven't been keeping up with, so I probably won't watch the new one anyways.
Emily?
Political. Well, I've seen exactly 2 Purge movies, and I will say the latest one seems rather heavy-handed, but then most of the news I've seen here in America seems very heavy-handed and not news. It's opinions, not news. I can't get over it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It's fair and balanced.
No. State media is doing just fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
You go back to Britain, the news is probably something like, and a horse has entered a co-op in Westbury.
There's a duck whose beak is stuck in the well. Breaking news.
Oh my gosh.
So Maven, I think you're pretty much gonna round out the group and say
I'm kind of in between. I think there's something to be said. You can, and there are books, tons of books of people that have gone back through decades of horror and pulled out like some sort of political or like, cultural, social meaning out of it based on what was happening at the time. But I think what a lot of those movies do really well is there's a balance. It's not as heavy-handed as something like Mother or the first Purge or something like that. But you can watch it on an entertainment kind of level.
Yeah,
like you can watch any slasher mindlessly, but you can also point back to like, all these Christian values that are in the movie. Like there's a balance.
Yeah, like Night of the Living Dead is quite socially, it has something to say socially, but you can just watch it as a zombie movie. Alien, we talked about it before. It's got a lot of sexual subtext, but it's still just a sci-fi thriller. So
exactly,
you don't have to take it. Yeah, it's when they get a little too heavy-handed. I think it's a bit much.
Yeah.
The third one goes head first.
All right, I'm just going to say this now. If you're just going to keep coming in as different names, I'm just going to keep deleting you. So just don't waste your time. Just don't comment. Now, there's an absolute fuckface who decides to just keep coming in, and you
Probably
don't know.
my friend Jade. She told me that she's watching.
Oh no! I sincerely doubt it.
Get out, Jade.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so just shut the fuck up. How about that?
Get Out definitely had something to say. It used comedy too. It was no, Get Out was interesting. It wasn't. I don't know. What do you think? Too heavy-handed?
I feel like it was dancing the line a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they could have laid it on thicker, I think, but
yeah. You know what the
didn't.
do you guys know what the original ending was?
Mm-mm.
The original ending was there was a. Have you all seen it?
Lindsay.
Which one? Sorry,
Get Out.
I'm so freaked out.
She's the only one I'm worried about not having seen it.
Daddy just hit mommy at the dinner table.
Well, yeah, no. There's.
I've never seen you do that before, CP. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no, sorry. I have a local scumfuck that I need to get in line.
So I didn't even hear what movie you were talking about.
Lindsay's like, what's going on? Yeah. No, Get Out.
Yeah, no.
Didn't see it. All right, go back to the chat. Enjoy yourself. Oh, Emily, you have a wrench. So if you know what you're looking for, right?
I don't know how to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right.
You can right click on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The three dots.
I'm on my phone because I'm using
all right. Don't worry about it.
Shit, so.
You've given her this power and she doesn't know how to wield it.
I should have given you guys wrenches before we got up here.
Is everybody drinking, by the way?
Is anybody drinking?
Oh,
Yeah, this
Mill
is
Street
water.
Organic.
Oh,
nice.
What?
What is that? I don't even know. Is that water, beer?
It's beer, and this one actually. I'm surprised. It's a 4.2% alcohol.
Oh,
but it's a Canadian brewery, and they're actually really close to us here. We're big fans of Mill Street, so sponsorship.
Babe, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Purple Haze beer.
Oh, wow.
Also
Nice.
4.2, actually.
The label looks like, what did we just watch, Emily? It looks like that drink from that.
Oh, Viper from Street Trash.
Yeah. It's got a same color label.
Oh, like the color coordination thing?
Yeah. It was like a purple label with green text, I think.
Ah,
I could
I'm
be
very
making-
New Orleans. I think it's brewed in New Orleans or something. So it's got like a voodoo man on it.
Nice.
That's the extent of my knowledge on that.
And Emily, what are you drinking?
It was hot chocolate with Disaronno, but now it's water.
Ooh,
The
fancy hot chocolate.
good stuff.
Not
Yeah,
really, it was just powder.
Good
As
save.
soon as you put any sort of alcohol, liquor, anything in hot chocolate, it's elevated hot chocolate.
A new subgenre of hot chocolate.
Yes.
So who do you guys consider to be the strongest female characters in horror? Over the course of time.
Nancy.
Really?
I love Nancy.
Okay.
Always loved her.
Any reason why? Just her staying power? Or?
I kind of I think one big thing is first the mouth on her. She doesn't really take shit from anybody. I like that she can kind of like her boyfriend, she puts him in his place numerous times. And stands up to her mother, her father. She's not the meek girl. She's incredibly strong. She's very innovative. She's creative and she's a survivor. But on top of that, it's never really decided. Obviously there's the sleepover part where Johnny Depp is wanting to be in the bedroom with her, but they're not. But have they ever? Is she a virgin? I don't know.
Freddie is her boyfriend now.
She's not clearly presented as having to be a virgin, and that's why she's the final girl.
Yeah, they do kind of feign her having a relationship in 3 with the
Well, but she dies.
Yeah, they don't even smooth.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
What's so funny about the word smooch?
No. Lindsay was spoiling the movie.
Oh, I see.
were
The
laughing.
30-year-old movie.
Yeah.
I spoiled it.
Oh, wait, let me pause for a second because everybody's telling us what they're drinking.
Nope.
Pre-organic organic water. Good joke. Volstix is drinking Guinness. Raw water straight from a stream. I hunted my
Hardcore.
water down like a wolf. Of course you did, Queenie. Dino drinking a mean apple cider. I see. I keep meaning to get that. What did we get last? I got mean orange soda. That was interesting. I paid $30 for a bottle. Bottle of what? Oh, raw water. I see. I think we're caught up. Okay, sorry. So Emily, your idea of the strongest female character in horror.
So strongest, not scariest.
I'll take both. You know, well, I'll take strongest, and then we'll get back to scariest because I'd like to hear more of that.
Scariest female.
Strongest.
Okay, well, yeah. Shit, I can't think. I want to say Kirsty from Hellraiser. If you follow the narrative that extends into the comics, she ends up becoming a Cenobite, which I find interesting. So I don't know if that's another case of transcending pain and becoming what you are afraid of, or if that's a good thing. I have no idea. The way that the mother from the Babadook bellows at the Babadook at the end, that's pretty badass. And up to a point, the woman from inside, the way she armors up and is there covered in blood with a spear and a big round belly, I think that's pretty good. So, I don't know. Can I stop naming people?
Yes,
Somebody else had
I
actually.
guess the obvious
brought
answer is Ripley, but
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Barbara from Night of the Living Dead, Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead from 1990.
Oh,
Such
yeah.
a stark contrast to the first Barbara, who I wanted to bitch slap a little bit.
yeah, she didn't do much, did she?
But yeah, no, the one from Tom Savini's, like she's kind of she grows into a badass.
Good for her.
Absolutely.
Are these comics drawn by Jim Balke? Emily? Balke? Whatever.
What?
Yeah, I can't read that well. Small batch bourbon if you're filling drink requests. Well, Booker's small.
Yeah, this is a bar.
Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good. Maven, your idea. Strongest.
First person that came to mind was Sidney Prescott from
Really?
Scream. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Why?
No, because I was waiting for we kind of skated around it, and Emily hasn't seen it yet, so I was curious to see if somebody was going to say a certain somebody from a house movie.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine.
No, it's okay. No, I'm sticking with Sydney.
Good.
Because she's got staying power, and I mean, kind of like Lindsay was talking about earlier when we were talking about Final Girls of that era. She's like an every girl. You know, she's relatable. She's been through crap, and she lets people know that she's been through crap. You know, she doesn't try to be extra. Sorry, my dog is doing something really loud behind me. But yeah, she's very relatable and super strong and makes it through all of her movies. Spoiler alert, I guess.
Oh, that's right. Okay. No. Yeah. Maybe. So back to your second question, Emily. Scariest female in all of time. Horror film.
Either Annie Wilkes from Misery, or I guess what's her face from The Craft. She's
Nancy
what's her name?
Balk?
Yeah, that's the one. What is her name? Nancy.
In the movie, it's Nancy.
No.
Yeah, and then Lindsay said
I wanted to say Nancy.
real
but we're
actual
just
name
talking about
correctly.
Nancy, so.
She's also in The Water Boy.
Yes, I liked her in that.
Lindsay,
Oh,
Scariest.
that's really freaking hard. I don't think I've ever really considered.
I'm gonna be the dickbag asshole man, and
Oh.
say the person who was played by a man, Zelda in Pet Sematary,
Oh,
She was pretty fucking terrible.
yeah.
played by a man, but yeah,
To this
pretty.
day, if I say Rachel,
Yeah.
my sister's
Never
like,
get out of bed again.
gone. There'll be my sister-size hole in the wall. No, I like, and I think because like I've never really thought about it before, being put on the spot right now, like my mind is completely blank. Like Annie in Misery, that is a great example. Yeah, I don't know. Come back to me like tomorrow or something.
Okay.
So Darling Darkness says she was thinking Zelda shouldn't count because it wasn't played by a woman. I remove my answer. Fair point. That is pretty fair. Maven.
Okay. Yeah, that's really, oh my gosh, out of all the movies I've seen, since we were talking about it, I'm going to go with the woman from Inside, which her name is just, she doesn't have a name. She's
Just a woman.
The woman,
Yeah, just
which
a
makes
woman.
it even scarier because it could just be anybody trying to get into your house and wanting to steal your baby right out of your stomach and will stop at nothing. That's utterly terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she was like a T-1000.
Yeah, I know. She was like almost completely indestructible.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Felt? Anybody?
Obviously
No, sorry.
not.
Sorry, silly me assuming.
Felt.
FELT. It's kind of obscure and under the radar. A woman who's sexually, I think she was sexually abused, but she goes to really, really interesting lengths to exact revenge. I'm confused about it. So that was kind of my way of saying, somebody explain to me what's going on, but if nobody's seen it, then I have nothing to add. I was just kind of hoping. I was letting
I thought
her
you would
reel
have
out.
said Mrs. Voorhees.
Scariest?
Would you not consider her scary?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
These questions are for you. You're the stars here. I'm just. No, I wouldn't. Scary? No.
Mrs. Voorhees is one of the most relatable.
Yeah, I
Kill her,
want.
mommy. Kill her.
I want Mrs. Voorhees to be my mother.
No, I imagine that, like, again, and it's getting into, you have to be able to put yourself in those shoes, but for any person, male or female, I imagine the idea of losing a child, like that, you're snapped, you're done.
Mhm.
Like I can't imagine your mind being completely full functioning after that point. So I think that she's one of the most relatable female horror movie villains. Because I would want to make people pay. For sure. But I'm also a vengeful bitch, so.
So there's a bit of a debate as to who the first final girl is in horror.
Ooh.
Who would you guys say? There's no real right answer. Who is like the first one that you go back to and say, yeah, that's the first.
Black Christmas.
Really?
That was 1974, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just the one that always just pops into my head. Like and the funny thing is that I'm not even a huge fan of her as an actress. Hussey, whatever.
Olivia.
Yeah, she has gorgeous hair,
Olivia
doesn't she?
Hussey. She has beautiful hair, but
Oh, come on! Don't resort to comments about her looks.
well, no,
I'm fucking with you, Lindsay.
she was raised to be and taught to be a stage actress.
She played Juliet in the Romeo and Juliet movie.
Yeah, she did.
Mm-hmm.
The way that she enunciates and projects is somebody that is meant for stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not necessarily film. And so even when she's answering the phone and she's like, hello, it makes my skin crawl. Can't stand it. But she's always the first final girl that I always think of, because I still think of that as being a very pivotal film that has influenced so many thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so conflicted when I watch that film, because feminist brain is going, yeah, you take control of your reproductive organs, you don't take, and my lesbian brain is going, yeah, Chrissy. I don't know.
Emily, you're furthest back.
I don't know if we're counting rape revenge films. Otherwise, I guess Sally Hardesty from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh,
I like the way she survived. She managed to get a few licks in
Yeah.
before she escapes.
Okay.
That's who I would go with as well.
Mhm.
I think I think that's, at least as I remember it, that's who Carol Clover mentions
Mhm.
first in Men, Women, and Chainsaws.
Mm.
Like that's kind of like the first cited, that's the first example she used. So I always associate her in my mind as like the first final girl,
Mm-hmm.
which that was around the same time as Black Christmas too, anyway.
So we have two from the chat here. Darling Darkness is Margaret White from Carrie.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
She was pretty scary.
cool. Yeah.
Ben Grimm says The Bride of Frankenstein.
As a final girl
As
or as a
final
scary
girl.
female?
Oh,
I haven't seen the movie.
yeah, there is a slight delay, so perhaps.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which was the answer?
Eric also, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's a bunch of people saying Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74. Joseph says, which is what Olivia thought was the performance. Steve Martin, when he said he was with her, Steve Martin, when he said she was in her favorite show, only to be surprised by he meant Black Christmas.
Yeah, I tried reading that 3 or 4 times. I need my decoder ring.
Yeah, Joseph. That's a lot. That's word
Joey.
salad there for me. I had
Joey.
I've got a little bit of my own drink here. Have you touched on the worst final girls? But you like
I
what?
like Beth's question there.
Well, that's a good segue because I just read it, and that's
No, I know, and that's why I was agreeing with you.
Well, good, because that's what we're doing.
I'm out.
Yeah. So worst final girls.
Alice.
Oh,
Really?
I can't say I disagree.
Mm.
Yeah, no, she's
Ooh.
bad. She's bad.
Yeah. And I like her as a person,
Sure.
like the
Great.
actress.
Great
Love
actress.
her.
Great.
But
Yeah, no, there's not much to. I mean,
No.
even as a side character, just like when they're playing Monopoly, I'm just like, please kill her. Just please kill
no,
her.
and like Pamela Voorhees, she's an older woman. You're a younger woman. You're telling me that like you're having that much trouble like tussling around with her in this cabin? Like she smacks Alice around like she's
Literally,
a 5-year-old kid that stole a chocolate bar.
Literally, apparently Betsy
really
Palmer was actually hit.
Really
a
hit
couple
her, yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So good for Betsy.
Right? Even she was saying, toughen up.
Listen, you whippersnapper, you're not going to show me up.
Mm.
Emily, your least or the worst final girl in your opinion?
Snow from the Prom Night remake.
Brittany Snow?
Yeah.
Mm.
Uh-oh. Lindsay's leaving. for a
Can't stand the
second.
movie, can't stand the character either.
Yeah, I can't stand that movie either.
I
The
suck,
remake,
though.
anyway.
I love all of those stupid, like I have a really soft spot for anything high school horror.
Mm.
I love them all.
Okay.
Kind of been a nostalgia to it.
Maven.
I kind of agree with Ben in his comment. The what's her face from The Cabin in the Woods. Although I think the reason I don't like her is I didn't like the actress. Also, I think her performance kind of had something to do with it too, but I agree with that 100%.
I have a second one.
Okay.
Now, I hate that I can't remember her name in real life or the movie. That shit, how memorable everything about her is. the chick from Urban Legend.
Oh,
yeah.
the
The redhead, yeah. Not
Rebecca
the villain,
Gayheart.
not Rebecca
No.
Gayheart. No, I love her. She can do no wrong.
Oh yeah, what is her name?
Yeah, I don't know.
She was in Sopranos for a couple episodes too.
Drives me crazy.
It's a weird name. It's a weird.
Is it
name.
Alicia Witt? Alicia.
Yeah,
Mm.
Alicia Witt, or it's pronounced Witt, but it's Witt.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Man,
it. Yeah, no, I despise her.
do you
in
see
that
the
role.
smoke coming out of my skull? Because that was a lot of effort.
Emily can smell it. She can smell it.
Oh my gosh.
So how about characters that died in a movie that you would gladly swap out with the final girl? Like I'll get you started. So going basically on tropes alone, in Friday the 13th 4, the girl that she ends up giving up her virginity to the dude who's in the shower, and they say,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I thought she was going to be the final girl, but
Mhm.
she didn't die. I'm not saying that I think she should have been. It's just by normal tropes, it seemed like she was going to be the one to
Mhm.
last, but then she had sex, and that's a no-no.
Well, that was just further propagating the rules, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she was the sweet innocent one
Uh-huh.
for half of the movie, and then whoop, give it up, and you're done. Sorry, axe through the chest.
Poor girl said she thinks she's in love too, just like,
But can you blame her?
oh, he's a dreamboat. I mean,
It was kind of dreamy.
let's call a spade a spade. At least she
You
got
say
lucky.
so. I trust your taste in men.
Oh, what do you know? Married
What
to
do I
me. Idiot. Emily, what about you? If you could switch somebody that died with the person that lived, is there a movie that you could think of off the top of your head?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, your name is Emily. Yeah.
Oh. Shit, I can't think. What was the name of the character in Aliens who was kind of butch and also a strong female?
Oh, the
Oh.
army chick, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what is her name? Yeah.
You don't
The-
see very
the
many
actor-
butch women in these horror films. There was one in Annihilation, if that counts.
Ooh,
was,
good
Oh
point.
yeah.
They were all women though. That was see, that's when people talk let me not jump ahead of myself, but when people say things like, Ghostbusters, everyone needs to go see the new Ghostbusters movie because it has women in it. It's just like, well, how about people?
Oh, Vasquez.
Yes, Vasquez from Aliens. Like Annihilation was a really good movie that had a mostly female cast, and nobody went to see it, and it was just like, how about somebody fight for this because it's actually good. But yeah, so wait, are you saying, Emily, that you would switch? Which one? The one who is out as a lesbian in the movie? Is that who you're referring to in Annihilation?
It would be interesting, at least. What I was referring to Vasquez, I guess.
Wait,
Vasquez.
are you talking about Aliens or Annihilation?
I'm talking mostly about Aliens.
Okay, mostly.
I guess they went with
Mostly.
they stayed with Ripley, I guess, because she's the one people relate to a little bit more. But
That'd be a hell of a move, though, killing off Ripley and then having this Vasquez person be the final girl.
I guess it's problematic to have a female lead who has traditionally masculine traits.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but they need to just trip up the norms a bit. At least that's my opinion. Lindsay.
I'm 100% on board with Darling Darkness in the chat. Juno from The Descent.
Oh.
Love Juno. But I think it's because she's kind of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I just love her for that. Absolutely adore her.
Eric says Deborah Voorhees from Part 5 with Pam. All right, so we'll make sure Deborah hears that. Somebody's kissing up, I think.
She could be here.
Yeah, she literally could be here. So
Hi,
good
Deb.
job. What about you, Maven?
Oh, that's such a hard question because you had to add in swap with the.
Oh,
person who
sorry.
does
So you don't
survive.
have to swap. There could be two living people. I guess.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I'll answer both, I guess. Since I had it on the brain, if I had to swap, Cabin in the Woods, Blonde Chick for Not Blonde Chick. I can't remember either of their character names. I just thought she was a more interesting character.
Can we swap any of them for Chris Hemsworth?
Yum.
Right.
Also, that too. Yes, seconded. And to survive with, I want Tatum from Scream to make it to the end.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah. If she gets to survive with Sydney, Tatum needs to make it.
The oldest daughter from The Hills Have Eyes, the one who got shot in the head. Oh, is that the original? That's the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, that that one's kind of foggy in my memory. The mom from Final Girls should have a way to escape the film.
Yeah.
Oh wow! See,
Eh.
what's the eh?
I had no expectation whatsoever that she was gonna make it out of the film. Like that would be weird, right? Like your mom's like so close to your age. Like
Oh yeah.
There would be a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Because it's not really her mom.
Yeah, it's not really
character.
I don't know.
Well, I think they kind of skated close enough without like she's a portrayal from the mother. Like they never she never really says, "Oh yeah, I'm your mother." Like she never really recognizes that. So yeah, that's excuse me. So let me just double check, see what I had here. All right, so Jamie Lee Curtis is considered to be the Scream Queen. Who else would you consider a strong contender for the title? And do we have any modern equivalents? I'll let whoever.
Is it because of the Halloween thing, or just because she was very, very prolific?
Well, she was in The Fog, Prom
Night.
Yeah.
Now it's like Danielle Harris. She's a good one. Or Catherine Isabel. Catherine Isabel's in so many different franchises.
What's she done recently, though, Catherine Isabel?
I don't know. Has the Soska sisters made anything?
Good point. Well, I mean, I guess the difference is Jamie Lee Curtis was like there's prominent horror, and then like Soska sisters. I don't think many people like you can't sell Soska sisters in a cinema in like in a 10-plex. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
depending on where you are.
All right, touche.
I'm thinking like California, in LA, you could definitely do that.
Yeah, like they're like destination type movies, I guess. Like you know, people aren't going to just stroll in from the mall and say, "Oh, why don't I watch that new Soska Sisters movie?"
Well, and if the advertising was right, I mean, they did have a pretty good following with like Elevator as well. They went for how many seasons with Elevator?
Yeah,
and that's a lot more than a lot of other like fear-based shows, other than Fear Factor itself.
Joseph has I agree. Do they have any name recognition like Jamie Lee Curtis does?
Oh, B took my answer for sure. As far as modern one, Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's on her way to becoming one.
See, I thought Mary Elizabeth Winstead was on the.
Well,
she was in Split.
Dang it, I was gonna say Split. She hasn't seen Split. The Witch. Have you seen The Witch?
Nope.
Oh God.
She's in Thoroughbreds.
Thoroughbreds recently. Not horror, but pretty good.
These are all modern movies.
Sorry.
I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
Well, see, I would have said Mary Elizabeth Winstead for that slight brief period in the mid 2000s, but she kind of grew out of it.
Yeah.
So why?
When I think of Scream Queens, I definitely like Danielle Harris is right up there, and I feel like she doesn't even have to be actively doing something right now. She's still up on the mantle for that.
Emily?
I don't know.
all right.
I'm sorry.
Maven?
Yeah, I would. That's a hard question because I feel like part of who we classify as a Scream Queen has a lot to do with the amount of time they've been in the genre also.
Mm.
You know, because like Danielle Harris has done, she's done other things, but she's done a lot of horror. So she's had a lot of time, a lot of projects to get that recognition. Same with Jamie Lee Curtis and Sigourney Weaver and everybody else that we recognize as a Scream Queen. So it's like, it's hard to recognize Emma Roberts, Wander This World said.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like hard to say so early on because they're all like, her and Anya Taylor-Joy are still so young, you know, they could just maybe, for all we know, this could be like the last horror that they do potentially, and then never do it again. And then would we still call them a Scream Queen? So I feel like they're on their way, just maybe not there yet.
Volstix says American Mary is legitimately one of the best modern horrors I've ever seen. The Witch is fucking incredible too. American Mary, I haven't seen.
Oh, it's so good. Soska Sisters, Catherine Isabel. We're just talking about all this.
Hand in hand. Yeah. All right. So we've come up on about an hour and a half. Maven, do you have anything that you'd like to plug on your channel before we sign off?
Ooh. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Just throw me on the spot there.
We'll have a script next time, I promise.
I just do the same old. I just do horror movie reviews and things like that. Right now, I have a review of The Devil's Doorway up, which is like a found footage exorcism movie that's set in 1960. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting. I guess if I have to plug one thing, I want to plug me and Emma from Spooky Astronauts do a live stream show monthly. Does This Offend You? And we just did an episode on religion and horror, which was super interesting. The last exorcism and stigmata. So it's up on her channel. So I'll plug that. It's once a month.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Like she's so upside down. I'd love to get her on here, but I don't know
she's
how.
in Australia.
Yeah. Good one, Emily. But like, yeah, it's like 11 a.m. there now, so it'd be hard to.
You have to do it on the weekends, so
right? So maybe we'll do some sort of special if we can get her.
Yeah.
Lindsay.
The next video that I've had coming up,
or
the last one I had a month
get ready.
or so ago.
You're like, you're going to be on Scream Stream on Friday.
I actually, and I don't want to make any promises right now.
Me?
But John is taking Tommy out of town tomorrow. So I was hoping to possibly get a couple of videos recorded in the morning before I have an appointment. I have a client coming tomorrow for the afternoon, but I'm planning, because I've been planning it for a very, very long time and I just need to film it, is a defense video of a highly unliked film.
What genre?
Slasher.
Okay. I'm excited. And
actually, I was meaning to message you too, CP, because I want to steal a tiny little clip from one of your videos.
Oh, so I've covered it then.
Oh.
Oh.
Maybe.
All right. Well, I can't wait to get off then. Get off the air, I mean. Damn.
Emily, you're up.
Emily.
I still have a Martyrs review upcoming. Killjoy just has to fill her parts. And I came out with a video recently about the scariest PSAs that I found. So you can watch that in the meantime. I'm very unprolific. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you put way too much work into your videos. Emily's been working on this Martyrs review since.
Damn it, Emily! Week. Just too much work.
Just
stop putting so much work.
Stop making everybody else look so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a character that's represented in this stream here. There's at least one extra character per. Yeah, whatever. If you want to see Emily, she's in a bunch of my stuff recently, and a little taste, I guess. I did the Martyrs. Who would like that? And Emily, excuse me, not Emily. Braggart has a cameo in that, and there's that. So we're going to try to see if we can get this somewhat regularly. Maybe we'll have rotating people in and out, but this hopefully, if you guys had a good time, we'll try to make this somewhat regular, monthly or whatever.
Woohoo!
Looks like we lost Lindsay. Oh, okay. So that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully we'll see you next time.